We now introduce a two-time European Tour finalist, the former winner of the Players' Championship Finals, the Asset, Paul Nicholson!
We've got the former bad boy of darts, Paul Nicholson, up against the local policeman here, hot fuzz, Anthony Lopez, a man who we have seen before on the European Tour here at the Gibraltar Darts Trophy. But Nicholson is a bad boy gone good, and he's playing good darts again, having qualified for this and the Danish Darts Open, the inaugural Danish Darts Open in Copenhagen in a fortnight's time, and has produced a couple of recent runs, the last 16 of tournaments. He's in line for return to the World Championship this year too, so it's all going very well for Paul Nicholson, and therefore for us, Rob Malarkey, because we get to spend more time in the commentary box.
Yeah, it's good to see him doing well. He's certainly putting together some good results on the Pro Tour of late as well. Well, since we last saw him on the European Tour at the European Darts Grand Prix, he's made the last 16 and the last 32 of Players' Championships 11 and 12. Lost 6-5 to the eventual finalist Gabriel Clemens in the former. He classed that as the best weekend on the Pro Tour in some time. But he strikes me as the sort of man who isn't really content with that. He wants more and feels the way his game is evolving, he can find something much, much more as well. So maybe that will come to fruition this weekend.
Well, it's been an upward curve for Paul Nicholson in 2018, particularly if you look on the European Tour. He had that almighty collapse against Benito van der Pas, didn't he? And then returned in the following tournament to dispatch of Mervyn King and reach the last 16 in Sindelfingen. And that was really impressive because Paul Nicholson had been, over the last couple of years, a little more easily breakable in those kind of situations, but he managed to put it behind him in the very next tournament.
First leg is Paul to throw first. Game on.
And then go on and reach that last 16 that you mentioned in Milton Keynes after qualifying for a double header on the Friday night in the very same venue. He's going to get a few boo boys this evening, but
I think he'll thrive on that, to be honest.
Well, it's something he's used to more than most, isn't it? Now Lopez beat Dyson Parodi, the flag bearer really for darts in Gibraltar. He was leading the match and squandered opportunities to win it before Parodi missed a dart of his own to beat Lopez and book his place in the tournament. And his reaction to being defeated and denied the chance to appear in this event this year was to block Anthony Lopez on Twitter.
59.
Yeah, Lopez, the only one of the 4 qualifiers from last year to have made it through this time around. He came from behind to beat Parodi, as he say, 6-5, having accounted for another man who's also played in this tournament before, a former qualifier and a former World Cup representative, Manolo Valerio. Was it Manuel Valerio? I always get mixed up. Anyway, Valerio was beaten in the first round as well. Manuel Valerio, 6-2.
Yeah, Nicholson looking for the first max of the match.
140.
Didn't quite find it. He beat Jamie Caven and Ronnie Baxter in qualifying for this event.
But he has been consistent, Lopez, in qualifying for this tournament. It's his 5th successive crack at this particular event. He came through qualifying in each of the last 4 years as well. Beaten 6-0 by Darryl Kearney in his first round match in 2014. Won his opener in 2015, although that was against another host nation qualifier, John Duo.
Yeah,
140.
Made it here last year too, but it was beaten in round 1 by Chris Quantock. A man who had a very good year last year, but we haven't seen similar this year for Quantock.
All you require 80.
Of course, he was the man that was edged out by Jamie Lewis in the World Championship qualifiers. Double top then. He's had to step across to try and find a way.
Safety.
Yep, just took a nosedive, but he's got plenty in hand.
And you might be able to pick up all sorts of background noise here as well with our unique commentary position here at the Tour Centenary Sports Hall. There's lots going on a Friday night here
96.
as well. Plenty going on here for
20.
Nicholson, who's looking at double 10 for the opening leg. Lopez on a bogey number as well, so plenty of room for manoeuvre here for the asset.
Like a nice one to slide in off the barrel.
Yeah, and he's done precisely that as well.
Nicholson.
Solid start
Second leg
for
Anthony to throw first.
Nicholson, 17 dart hold of throw. No drama for the man who won the Players' Championship finals in 2010. A two-time European Tour finalist as well. Lost to Wes Newton in the final of the European Darts Trophy 5 years ago. Then lost to Whitlock in the
60.
final of the Dutch Darts Masters the year before that in 2012.
Yep, the winner of this one to take on Dave Chisnell, the number 10 seed, tomorrow. And it'll, if it is to be Paul Nicholson, that's a chance to exercise a few demons as well. His last appearance at the World Match Play ended in defeat to Dave Chisnell, a high-profile match. Nicholson literally in tears on the stage as that one started to slip away from him.
Yeah, so a chance to exercise demons. And talking of exercise, Nicholson, I'm reliably informed
26.
from the man himself actually, he recently bought a Powerball to deal with, well, he's had wrist injuries and shoulder issues in the past. So I think it'll be interesting to see if this latest acquisition can add something to his arm and wrist strength, and injury prevention for the future for his career.
He's a man who is constantly looking for the edge, isn't he, Paul Nicholson? That extra edge. He keeps himself fit. He engages in mental exercise as well, meditation, all that kind of thing. Looking for that little bit extra that's going to produce the goods. There we see George Noble enjoying the action, of course.
In the wide awake club tonight.
Yeah, what a thriller George is enjoying so far. If I remember rightly, last year, Anthony Lopez was providing some entertainment. A couple of blind 180s.
That was against Dimitri Vandenberg. Lost 6-2 to Dimitri in the opening round 12 months, or just over 12 months ago now. It was early May when we came here last year. No, it was Nick Fulwell, sorry. Dimitri Vandenberg was the year before, sorry. Got that the right way around. No, it was Dimitri Vandenberg. I'm getting confused. But it was, yeah, it was Vandenberg, definitely. Off the top of my head.
Well, next up we've got a former World Championship finalist, Mark Durbridge, taking on a former World Youth Champion and a winner on the European Tour.
And do not adjust your set, that is our latest departure from Terminal 1, just flying overhead. We're very close to the airport here as well, as you can hear.
Yep, Max Hoff, the man taking on Mark Durbridge, a man whose career is taking off.
Well, neither player flying so far, but it's Nicholson who's just about doing enough, and he's got a chance of a break here on the Lopez throw.
100.
It's down to 81.
Yeah, just doing the job, isn't he, Paul Nicholson? Just doing enough to keep Lopez at bay so far.
100. All you require, 81.
Nicholson just checking where he is, checking where Lopez is as well. And that's why he went for it.
56. Anthony Uruguay 161.
Lopez, well, it's a big ask, this 161, but it is possible. So Nicholson went for the opportunity to steal it with the bull.
Well, the checkout in front of him is 100 points higher than his match average.
Wow. That's a stark illustration
23.
of the state of play so
Uruguay,
far.
25.
Snatching those darts angrily from the board as he made his way back up.
Well, yeah, because even if Nicholson misses here, he hasn't left himself handy at all from that 161. Moving east for double four.
17.
Nicholson does
Anthony
miss.
Uruguay 138.
But Lopez needing a huge checkout. Just hasn't managed to produce anywhere near his best stuff so far. And this will be a different test of Paul Nicholson's mental strength, because he's playing a man who's absolutely capitulating on that stage. And it's difficult to maintain your focus in those situations. Just ask Michael Van Gerwen when he's playing someone who's not playing very well. He starts to do all sorts of things to try and keep his mind occupied.
Well, that was a 22 dart breaker throw, so Nicholson had plenty of opportunities and plenty of time to secure that break. And the fact that Lopez never really threatened also tells its own story.
58.
Certainly quietened the crowd anyway, Nicholson, so far, because Lopez not really offering too much at this moment in time.
Yeah, and he was probably,
97.
despite the resurgence of the assets, hashtag asset resurgence, the best hope. There are still a couple of home nation qualifiers left in the tournament. Tony Dawkins takes on Jermaine
95.
Watermain in the match after next, and then Clayton Otten, well, he's up against it because he's up against Adrian Lewis in the finale of round 1.
Plenty of support for Lewis as well, plenty of jackpot shirts amongst the crowd as I was milling around, or as the crowd was milling around outside as I was making my way here this evening. He's clearly a big draw, is Adrian Lewis. It's a significantly higher crowd than it was earlier today on the afternoon session, and Lewis is one of the reasons why we do have a significant number of people inside tonight. He's clearly a big draw.
Yep, going to be bigger this weekend too. We're going to have the likes of Michael van Gerwen in action. We've seen that he will take on Vincent van der Voort, Peter Wright.
60.
Many of the favourites. James Wade now in the seeds, of course.
Well, Nicholson not totally satisfied with the way he's going about his business so far. He's obviously in a comfortable position.
100.
By 2 legs to nil, he has the break, but he perhaps will feel there is a significant improvement to be found against Lopez.
Yeah, perhaps needs someone
45.
to
bring it out of him.
And Dave Chisnell may well do that, but I tell you what, if Nicholson does go on and win this match and meet Dave Chisnell, Chizzy's not been at his brilliant best for the best part of this year, has he? Now, will this get the asset going? Double 14.
134.
Right on the wire.
Lopez again, still way out at sea. And he's still not down to a finish.
60. All you require 14.
What will Nicholson do here?
Might be tempted to split this.
Looks to be going straight for it.
So double 2.
10.
Well, the worst thing that could have happened was that landed in the big 2 and he's got double 1 left. Because a leg that he's been completely in command of and almost took out a ton plus finish could end up slipping from his grasp.
59. All you require 4.
Does not want to end up in the madhouse here.
No, he does not, because Lopez has 120 remaining.
That's
That's
a
a very
Paul Nicholson.
sure-footed takeout by Paul Nicholson.
Yeah.
First time of asking on double 2.
Attacking dart from Paul Nicholson.
And he's halfway there.
And that shows me a bit of confidence. I've got no idea where that dart was aimed.
47.
Lopez. But I assume it was aimed at the treble 20 and found the skinniest bit of the 12. Yeah, Nicholson there didn't seem bothered, did he? I'm going to attack it, and if I'm on double 1, I'll hit double 1. And that shows to me that he's a confident player at the moment. When Paul Nicholson was at his best, confidence was not something he was lacking.
99.
Yeah, arguably his best year of his career was in 2011 when he made the quarter-final. I know he won the Players' Championship finals in 2010, but the following year he made the quarter-finals of the UK Open, he made the last 8 at the Grand Slam, and also the European Championship too. Also made the quarter-finals of the World Championship in 2009, and also the last 8 of the World Grand Prix.
Yeah, in 2011, well, it would have been the 2012 World
Yeah.
Championships. He reached the last 16, didn't he? And you think if he'd have beaten Kim Huybrechts in that match,
60.
it was a big shout for Paul Nicholson to become a Premier League player that year.
Because of everything else that he'd done as well.
Picking up titles on the Pro Tour too, and those couple of runs to the European Tour finals that you mentioned earlier.
60.
So I know the ability he has got, and he's managed to rediscover it, and we're going to see him Well, we've already seen him in TV events this year. We saw him beat Terry Jenkins at the UK Open. We're probably going to see him at the World
100.
Championship.
Yeah, it was a tense affair, wasn't it, with Terry Jenkins at the UK Open. Came through that one just about. Terry Jenkins with a great late rally before Nicholson eventually got over the line with those double eights.
100.
Well, it's looking very, very likely that Paul Nicholson's going to get this one done 6-0, or it was until that dart found the treble.
100.
But I think
All you require 141.
he could end up describing it as the worst 6-0 of his career. He's not playing brilliantly, Paul Nicholson, but he just doesn't look
105.
uncomfortable at any point, does he?
Yeah. There was that famous quote, wasn't there? I think it was Bill Shankly who said we were lucky to get nil. Maybe it was Tommy Docherty. I think that might just about apply to Anthony Lopez here.
Well, could be a double-double here. He's decided against that, and I guess that's showing a bit of lack of
55.
confidence. But I think in that situation, it's the right shot.
36.
The target is bigger.
With Nicholson on 36. Maybe just that bit of aggression is what Anthony Lopez needed. He's getting closer here, Nicholson. Yeah, and he uses those first two darts very well. He made gradual inroads towards that double 18 bed, and Nicholson leads by 4. I'm not looking troubled at all here. It was a good response from Nicholson after that productive weekend at the those Players' Championship events in Milton Keynes, where he said, yes, he's happy, obviously, but he's certainly not going to get carried away. He clearly wants to use that to good effect. He wants to build on it and see it as part of the evolution process, and off to a flyer in leg 5 as well.
He's going to look away here.
140.
Well, the crowd celebrating that one as if Lopez has won the tournament.
Well, I think Paul Nicholson knows that he's got this match won, and it's something that you shouldn't really think, and something that I shouldn't really suggest, because we know what kind of curses we can put on players. But I think he really wants to now produce some confidence-building darts for the next round and the matchup with Dave Chisnell. Very strange position to be in, kind of knowing that you're going to win the match.
Yeah. But just wanting to just lay down a few markers for tomorrow, just to give something.
Yeah, and the 180 at the start of this leg will go some way to doing that for Paul Nicholson.
Although he backed it up with a 40, which raised a wry smile, but again, he's not really panicking too much just yet. Maybe getting on track once again with this third visit.
140.
He missed double 14 earlier on, didn't he, for a 1-4-8 out. Can he kick off a leg with a maximum and then take out a big 3-figure combination?
59. All you require 141.
Almost become something of a practice game for Paul. He'll have practiced this many a time. Treble 19. Would have left double 12.
89.
Just had to pretend there he was finishing off a potential 9-dart leg, but it wasn't to be. But he will be back on 52.
$60. All you require 52.
Yeah, we're so close to the airport, I can tell you it was the latest EasyJet flight that's just landed, by the way. That's how close we are. I can actually see the plane from here.
There'll be a few of tomorrow's players on that one.
Double 8 for Nico.
Yeah, show on the 5th leg, Paul Nicholson.
And
6th leg is Anthony to throw
Nicholson
first.
now
Game
one
on.
away. Just to remind you, our next match features Max Hopp, a man who has won a European Tour title this year, against Mark Dudbridge. Good to see him back on the European stage as well.
Flashback.
85.
But Anthony Lopez will not wish to watch this back, I would assume. Has been something of a darting horror show for the policeman, the home nation qualifier.
100.
Has played much better stuff than this in his previous visits to this tournament. And a penny for the thoughts of Dyson Parodi if he's somewhere in the wings watching on.
Well, he's probably made 1 or 2 arrests in his career as Lopez, but he needs to arrest with this run of legs for Nicholson. He needs to Well, it'd be nice for him to get one leg on the board at least.
Well, you might have to literally arrest Paul Nicholson, you think, to get something out of this.
Yeah, not quite sure what the charge would be, but Lopez does need something drastic.
All too comfortable for Paul Nicholson,
who's not taking any prisoners tonight so far. Did not like that second dart.
125.
With another treble. Chance here for Lopez, though. Well, I say that. Bang on cue, straight into the single one.
$41.
Back in the red stuff once again, though, here, Nicholson.
By my reckoning, I don't think that
100.
Anthony Lopez has even had a dart at a double. There's one leg where he was left on 40. But I think that was the one where he was on 95 and didn't. There we go. As if by magic.
99.
That confirmed.
116.
Confirms all our fears and all our suspicions about Anthony Lopez, who has an outside chance if Nicholson doesn't take out this 116, but there's every chance that Nicholson will. 16 leads tops for the match for a 6-0 win for the Asset, and that is a very, very nice way to finish things off as well. Not given any trouble whatsoever there, the Asset, who advances to round 2 and a meeting with Chitty tomorrow. A much tougher assignment on the cards on Saturday for Paul Nicholson. You can only beat what's put in front of you, and perhaps there were opportunities later on in that match for Nicholson to just lay down a few markers for tomorrow. Nicholson just acknowledging his opponent's performance, but it never really happened for Anthony Lopez. Nicholson quickly into his stride, quickly in charge of that one. He'll know there's room for improvement too, but for now it's job done for Paul Nicholson. And he can now look forward to that match with Chizzy tomorrow. Just to remind you once again, next up we have Maxop against Mark Goodrich. Let's grab a quick word with Nico, with Dan Dawson.
Paul, congratulations, starting the tournament off with a comprehensive victory. Yeah, I felt very nervous there. I knew that Tony played really, really well last night to get through, and I know there's not a great deal of people here, but I know he's a local favourite, and even when you have that pressure, it's very hard. I set myself the target of winning 6-0 today. I'm not going to deny that. I actually tweet that at Chris Mason today. It's not cocky. It's trying to set myself goals, and I saw him as a threat, and I saw him as a mental hurdle. So to get that done today, it's good for me because I didn't feel great.
Winning is a habit, and it is one you're getting back into, particularly on the European Tour, it would seem.
It's not bad, isn't it? Anybody think there's some confused people in here? You know, it's been my supporters. No, it's great, isn't it? It's just a great year for me. I've got to say thank you to the PDC for giving me the opportunity to, get back into this stuff. And no, I've still got a smile on my face. It's great.
How different is it from your situation a couple of years back, losing your tour card, to now where you're back playing competitive stuff, winning games, and becoming a threat in tournaments again?
It's a slightly different. I mean, there was a point 2 years ago I was looking for a job behind the bar, and now it's coming to places like this where I'm sweating me proverbials off and trying to prove myself again, and it's great. I mean, Milton Keynes was massive for me. I had a couple of good runs there, and I got through to this one in Copenhagen, so maybe you haven't seen the last of me yet.
Certainly not. Things are looking up for the Asset, Paul Nicholson, through to the next round. Congratulations, Paul. Coming up, we have Germany's #1, Max Hopp, against the former World Championship finalist, Flash, Mark Goodrich.